In this video, I will tell you the 9 pros and 2 cons of a Fujifilm X-H1. I spent some time with it. Back in 2018, when it was released, it was Fuji's best camera, the flagship. As you will see, it brings a lot of benefits, but it also has some bad things that might be deal breakers for some people. Let's start with the pros. The first pro, the upper dials. On the top of this camera, you'll have quick access to ISO and the shutter speed values, and if you want to manually adjust the aperture, you can simply turn this ring of its kit lens. This way of changing settings takes you back to the good old film days, where manual mode was a lot more physical. Thanks to these dials, we interact more with the camera and we are more aware of our settings. So basically, a Fujifilm camera like the X-H1 makes us better photographers. The second pro, film simulations. Fujifilm also puts you into a good mindset with their film simulations. I made a separate vlog where I cover all of them, and I have to say, these are not just gimmicks made by Fuji to sell more cameras. They are indeed a brilliant marketing strategy that taps into Fuji's filmmaker history, but they also help the user. No wonder why this camera brand has such a loyal fan base. Their film simulations give more creative possibilities and puts the photographer into a more engaged mindset. The third pro has to be about the screens of this camera. They are both very helpful. First of all, we have the main screen, the one on the back, that tilts 90 degrees up for those low angles and 45 degrees down for high angles. A bonus comes now. You can also tilt the screen from its left side to easily capture vertical shots. The special tilting mechanism gives a lot of flexibility. If this wasn't enough, the X-H1 also has a screen on the top where you can see all of your main settings. It also tells you how much memory and battery you have left. Fourth pro, dual card slot. I can't stress enough how important is a card compartment that is positioned on the right side of the camera and not in the battery compartment. The X-H1 is a flagship camera that gives quick access to your cards, and it's comforting because you can use two. Since we're here opening the card compartment, let me tell you that when you close it, this camera will have protection from the elements. The X-H1 has weather sealing, so if it starts raining, you don't have to stop shooting. Just make sure that the lens is also weather sealed. 6 Pro, access to 4K video recording and high-speed videos. The Fujifilm X-H1 can record videos in 4K at 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. In Full HD, the camera can record at 24, 25, 30, up to a whopping frame rate of 120p. This will be excellent for slow motion shots. These nice video capabilities would have been less fun without stabilization. Luckily, the X-H1 has IBIS. This is the 7th Pro. I believe it's Fuji's first camera with in-body image stabilization, and I have to say, it does a good job, offering up to 5 stops of stability while taking photos. The last 2 pros add to the comfort of using the X-H1. 8th Pro, the large grip. Something unusual for Fuji cameras is to have a generous grip like this one that helps a lot while shooting for long periods of time. Nowadays, you can find more Fuji cameras with large grips, but back in 2018, this was a novelty. It is one of the most comfortable grips I ever held. And finally, there's the 3.6 million dot electronic viewfinder that shows splendid, clear images. While the majority of mirrorless cameras have 2.3 million dots in the viewfinder, the X-H1 is much better, assuring you that you're taking photos with the flagship camera. So it brings a lot of benefits, but as I told you at the beginning, I said it also has 2 weaknesses that might be deal breakers for some people. The first one is about battery life. The X-H1 drains the battery fast. If I usually recommend getting 1 extra battery for your camera, in this case, it's better to have 2 at hand and maybe use the additional grip. The second con, poor focusing capabilities, probably the biggest weakness of this camera. While on videos, the X-H1 does a decent job for face tracking, for photos, it misses focus often. Just look here, where I focused on the boy. I took multiple shots, but only one is in focus. With other cameras, from my experience, this issue wouldn't have existed. Unfortunately, the X-H1 is quite bad at focusing, and that's a shame, especially because it can do 14 photos per second. You will see a lot of focus hunting while shooting with this camera. Although the X-H1 brings a lot of benefits, it also has these two weaknesses, and I'm curious, are these two cons deal breakers for you? Please write your thoughts below in the comment section, and if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing because I will make more of them. I'm ending this clip with some photos that I took with the X-H1, and I hope this video was useful. See you on the next one, guys.